you guys, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, welcome. I'm Mindy and this is See Mindy Mom, and today I am sharing with you a kid-friendly $5 dinner, so stay tuned. All right, you guys, I was challenged by my friend Miranda over at Running on Plants to create a $5 dinner. I'll leave her channel linked up here, so be sure to go and check her out. And if you are coming over here from Miranda's channel, welcome. I will give you a warning that Miranda is plant-based and I am not, and the meal that I'm going to create for you is meatless, but it is not technically vegan, but you probably could make it that way if you wanted to. Miranda challenged me and our friend Lindsay over at the Monologues to create a $5 dinner using ingredients that we purchased at the store of our choosing, so I decided to use Aldi. I recently did a video like this and I created a $5 dinner from Dollar Tree, and I also have lots of other family-friendly, WW-friendly, budget-friendly recipe videos. I will leave a few of them linked in the description box below. And I do want to go ahead and tag a couple of other channels to participate in this challenge. I'm going to tag Julia over at Julia Pacheco. I hope I said your name right. I'm sorry if I didn't. Julia has a great channel that features a lot of cooking videos, including lots of budget cooking videos, so be sure to go and check her out. I'll leave her linked in the description box below. And I'm also going to tag my friend Jess over at Blessed Jess. Now I know that Jess has her hands full. She's got 3 young kids, including a baby, so maybe she won't have time to do this video, but if she does, I would love to see what Jess comes up with. Okay, so confession, I actually went out and purchased some things to make this video and to make a dinner for this video last week. I had planned to do kind of like a spiced up tomato soup, like add some stuff to a tomato soup and kind of make it more hearty and have a garlic toast with it as well. But the highs are going to be in the high 80s or low 90s. We're having one of those October heat waves that we get around here. So tomato soup just was not sounding very good. And so I decided to scrap that plan. All of those ingredients are saved or frozen in a place where I can use them later on. And I decided that I wanted to do like a kid-friendly version of this video. My husband's gonna be gone tonight. He's got a late meeting. So I thought it would be fun to create something that I think the kids would enjoy and that they can help me make. It's tough to be on a budget when you've got kids, and it's tough to come up with things that they want to eat in general and to include, you know, some vegetables and some fruits and try to encourage them to eat some of those things along with the meals, let alone having to do it on a budget. So I thought it might be fun to show that just because we're on a budget doesn't mean that we can't have like some fun foods and have some foods that, you know, the kids can really look forward to and can actually help us make. So I just got done shopping at Aldi. Let me jump into some of the B-roll and I'll do a voiceover and kind of take you through my thinking in putting this meal together, and then I'll show you what we're making for dinner. So when I first got into Aldi, I just wanted to have a look around and see what I had to work with. Eggs are always a great deal at my Aldi. Of course, pasta is usually a very budget-friendly meal, and they have lots of great pasta sauce options, including an organic pasta sauce, and their traditional pasta sauces are only 85 cents. I was also happy to see they had a 1-pound box of pasta for only 75 cents, so that was an option. I thought about making some kind of like homemade bread product, like a homemade pizza crust or a homemade biscuit or something, because they did have yeast in stock and their flour is a really good price at Aldi. It was only $1.15 for a 5-pound sack of flour. But in the end, I decided that I thought I was going to go with a sheet pan nacho. So I picked out some tortilla chips. They're only 92 cents at my Aldi. They have lots of different kinds as far as like the different shapes and stuff of the tortilla chips. I ended up going with these round yellow tortilla chips, but I probably like the just the plain restaurant style tortilla chips a little bit better. I would get those next time. I also wanted some protein on these nachos, but the meat was going to be a little too expensive for this budget video, so I opted for some beans. And I chose the chili beans because they're already seasoned, and when you don't have a lot of money to work with, finding some things that already have seasonings in them or flavors in them is helpful. And of course, to make nachos, you gotta have cheese. So I picked up this 8-ounce block of Colby Jack for $1.69. And I also wanted to get some kind of tomatoes to put on it. And this is a place where Aldi is kind of hard to do these sorts of challenges because I would have had to buy like 5 or 6 Roma tomatoes to get that price, and I only wanted a few tomatoes. So I ended up just opting for this 47-cent can of diced tomatoes with green chilies, which again, it has the green chilies in it, which will give it some more flavor. And we'll just make sure that we use a fork to get them out so we don't get a lot of the juices on the nachos. I wanted to add another fruit or vegetable, so I opted for this can of fruit cocktail. It is in juice, not sugar and not syrup, so it's just canned fruit. And I thought I would make some Jell-O to go along with that, because what kid doesn't like Jell-O? And in fact, my kids were so excited about this, they consider it a treat. My total for all of these things was $4.94. And this actually doesn't have anything to do with this video, but I thought I'd show you guys that they had pumpkin spice coffee at Aldi, and I also had to pick up some vinegar and baking soda. Like I said, that's not included in the total for this challenge, but they had a really good price on some seasonal coffee, so if you're looking for that, you might check out Aldi. I just walked in the door from Aldi, but I'm actually getting started on my Jell-O because it takes a while for Jell-O to set. So I'm just making it according to the package directions. I just put 1 cup of water on the stove to boil, and then I will dissolve the gelatin in it, add a cup of cold water, and put it in the refrigerator for about an hour to an hour and a half. And then I will stir in my canned fruit. But you have to make sure that you drain the canned fruit really, really well, because if it's not drained really well, then the Jell-O won't set up right. So it's not a lot of work. It's just I want to go ahead and get that started so that it's ready for us to eat tonight. So making the sheet pan nachos is really simple, and it's something that the kids can help me with. Brick and McKenna spread the chips across a parchment lined cookie sheet, and Ruthie shredded the cheese up for me, and then we just put the toppings on. We put some cheese and then used forks to get the beans and the tomatoes out of the can so that we weren't getting too much of the liquid from those, which would make the chips really soggy. And we just spread those across evenly, and then we're going to bake them in a 350-degree oven until the cheese is melted and the toppings are heated. That only took mine about 10 minutes or so. And the only thing that I would do differently is I would use less chips. We ended up using the whole bag of chips. We made 2 layers on the pan, and we really only needed about half as many chips. There's only 4 of us eating these, and I don't know why I didn't think of that before, but using half as many chips but the same amount of toppings, it would have meant more toppings across fewer chips. But this still turned out really great, and when it came out of the oven, I actually just very carefully lifted the parchment off and put it onto like a cutting board so that I could take that directly to the table, and we would just serve ourselves from the nachos on the cutting board, and we used paper plates, so really easy cleanup. Like I said, I would just use fewer chips next time because we really didn't need all of the chips and ended up not eating all of the chips. And then I don't know why, but the kids were so excited about this Jell-O with the fruit in it. I mean, they were talking about it all evening, and we ate it all. I mean, a regular box of Jell-O is only 4 servings, so I guess that's normal, but like they ate every bite of that Jell-O. I actually only had a few bites and let them finish off my bowl, but it was a huge hit, and they were super excited to have this. Who would have thought that the Jell-O would be the star of this meal? My kids were so excited about the Jell-O. They're finishing it up right now. The only thing I would do differently is I would not use as many chips. I don't know why I was thinking I needed to use the whole bag of chips. There's only 4 of us, and so we only ate like half of what I made. I should have just used half the bag and then concentrated the toppings on more of the chips, and that would have been fine. But if you have a lot of people eating, or maybe you have big appetites that you are trying to feed, you know, using all the chips and spreading the toppings out across them would probably be fine too. If you have other things on hand, if you have some like leftover ground beef or shredded chicken, or if you have, you know, some refried beans or salsa, sour cream, something like that that you can add to it. Of course, you can, you know, add whatever you want to it if you want to extend your $5 meal. So thank you so much for watching, and I will be sure to check in with you guys again with another video very soon. Bye.